During my 4 years, nothing happened, and there was great pressure on me having to do with guns. We did nothing. We didn't yield. And once you yield a little bit, that's just the beginning. That's the avalanche begins.
Welcome to the Ken Harbaugh Show. No guest today because I need to vent a little. My kids just went back to school like millions of kids across the country. And no sooner had they figured out their class schedules and that they don't want dad packing their lunches anymore than they learned about our first school shooting of the year. This one was in Georgia earlier today. Latest reports indicate 4 dead, 2 teachers, 2 students, and 9 wounded. The MAGA extremists across the country will tell us we can't make this tragedy political. I am sorry, but politics led to this tragedy. The politics of the NRA and the MAGA gun fetishists gave us this world where it's easier for an unstable kid to get their hands on a weapon than it is to get health care. This happened at Appalachian High School in Winder, Georgia, which happens to be represented in Congress by Mike Collins. Mike Collins, of course, offered his thoughts and prayers to the victims of this entirely preventable tragedy, and he added this on Twitter. Very sad to confirm there have been 4 fatalities from the shooting at Appalachian High School in Winder, Georgia. Many others wounded, but not all gun-related. Let me clear something up for Congressman Mike Collins. Every one of the injuries at Appalachian High School today, even if they were because students got hurt trying to escape, every single one of those injuries was gun-related. And it's the gun lobby, the NRA, and people like Mike Collins who fetishize weapons of war, having never, of course, been to war, who are to blame for creating both a culture of gun worship and a legal regime in which these weapons are now everywhere. If you think I'm overstating the case, check out this campaign ad from Mike Collins.
Hey, Mike Collins here, your pro-Trump America First trucker, running for Congress here in Georgia 10. Well, I understand Joe Biden was in town yesterday to talk about our elections. It seems that he and Kamala Harris called anyone who disagreed with the federal hijacking of this election a racist. Well, Joe, I got some news for you. Let me tell you what Georgians really believe. First of all, you count the legal votes that were cast in the state of Georgia, Donald Trump won this state, period. Number 2, get rid of those voting machines. Go back to paper ballots once and for all. Number 3, get rid of those ridiculous drop boxes across this state that the Democrats use to stuff the ballots and steal our elections. Number 4, let's go to national forensic audits in every election cycle across this country. As a matter of fact, it's one of the first bills I'll introduce when I get to Washington. You see, Georgians are sick and tired of weak-kneed, spineless politicians who won't fight for Trump, get to the bottom of 2020, and fix our elections. Well, if they won't do it, Mike Collins will. Send me to Washington. I'll fix this election. I'll get to the bottom of 2020, and I will fight for Trump's America First agenda.
That is what we mean when we talk about the fetishization of firearms. It's people like Mike Collins who have led us here. It's Ken Harbaugh. Quick break here because I have 2 favors to ask. We're off to a great start with the Ken Harbaugh Show on YouTube, but the podcast needs a little love. Please click the link below to follow, rate, and review. The success of shows like this really does depend on those ratings. And if you haven't yet followed me on Patreon, please check it out. It's free to sign up, or you can pitch in a few bucks a month. Every dollar goes back into this show and our pro-democracy efforts, including the reporting from Ukraine. Go to patreon.com/Ken Harbaugh. Thanks for the support. I know that in the coming days, we'll learn more about the person who committed these horrific acts in Georgia. And I know that MAGA Republicans will say this is all about mental health, that guns aren't the problem, people are. Well, even if that were the case, why would you make it so easy for that person with a problem to get a gun? America isn't the only nation with mental health challenges, but we are the only nation that has regular school shootings. The total unwillingness of the far right to compromise on the issue of gun safety is killing our kids. Guns are now the leading cause of death for kids. Not cancer, not car accidents, guns. One last thing. Anytime a politician tells you that they can't or won't do anything like Trump told the NRA, fire them. They don't deserve to lead. I'll leave you with this clip, once again, of Mike Collins. Let this be your motivation to fire politicians who worship guns and have nothing but thoughts and prayers for dead kids in their own district.
But are you open to any compromise gun control legislation that's being discussed in Washington? So-called red flag laws, expanded background checks.
I am absolutely opposed to red flag laws. I am 100% adamant that the Second Amendment is written right. There is no changing it. We do have problems. We don't have a gun control problem in this country. We don't have a gun problem in this problem. What we have is a cultural problem where we have removed God from every facet of our life, be it from the schools, from prayer, even television. That's where we've got to get back to where the sanctity of life means something.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.